I got a PS5! I'll just sit that there for now because it's really heavy. So yes, I got a PS5. Well, more specifically, me and Kathleen got a PS5 together. That's when you know that your relationship's going well, I guess. The console that made headlines for being really specifically hard to get a hold of quite recently. And that next generational jump from the PlayStation 4.
Wow, that is big.
If you happen to have been keeping up with my channel at all over the last year or so, you will be aware that I had actually been making PS5 related content up towards the release of the PS5. I made one in June, July, September and October, and then I just kind of disappeared in November, December, January, February, you know. So you probably wouldn't be wrong to assume that I got hold of a PS5 in November, day one. Well, of course I didn't. I mean, people that got one in November were, you know, they should try the lottery. No, it was February when we managed to get one. That was quite the journey to getting one, if I do say so myself. Oh, let's just say I never want to go back to those dark times. Yeah, for whatever reason in November, I actually consciously made the decision to not get one at release. I thought, nah, I'll be fine. I can wait. I can wait on a PS5. I don't need one right now. And then the day itself came, and it turned out my brother had managed to get a pre-order, and he was busy telling me that he managed to get one. And that triggered something inside of me that went, whoa. No, I want one. I want one as well. And so I tried to get a hold of one that day. And of course that didn't work because they were gone like that. Yeah, they disappear quite quick when they pop up online. I remember in December, that was when I decided, yes, I'm going to go on the adventure of actually trying to make sure I can claim one of these before it's too late. But I kept up to date with the Twitter accounts that were supposedly, you know, getting all their insider information and such, and being like, yes, no, I know that John Lewis, they have got a stock of PS5 coming in, and they are going to be releasing on Friday. And everyone will be like, what the heck? When? Which Friday? And they'll just say, well, we can't confirm anything just yet, but it's going to be a Friday. And then Friday would come and go. The next Friday would come and go. And then, you know, that was basically a thing. But that was just an example, but it was pretty much accurate, you know. Yeah, I kept up to date with them. I did actually set alarms and everything to wake up early, to check all these websites if they had stock or not. And in a lot of other cases, I stayed up well past my bedtime, because there was this belief that Argos only restocked the PS5 and other video game consoles at 3 in the morning, or at least between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. I was just part of the gullible type that were like, oh, okay, yes, I guess I'll stay up till 6 a.m. in the morning then. And yeah, I did that a couple times. Got nowhere with it, obviously. I also, downloaded an app. I can't even remember what it's called now. It supposedly kept you up to date with all of the stock online, and it was like, oh, if we notice that a website has any stock, we'll notify you before anyone else. Yeah, that never did anything for me. I don't know what that was all about. I remember specifically being aware that stock had come and gone at certain times without the app making me aware. Yeah, I also remember I was in some forums and everything, keeping up to date with what everyone was talking about, just in case anybody had any information. And it was also just to keep me company, and so that I didn't just feel like a lonely, sad, pathetic outcast. I never actually talked in these chats. I just kind of lurked and watched what they were saying, because it makes me feel like I have friends without actually having to, you know, participate, because that's scary for me. I can't talk to strangers. I did actually come very close to getting one, 2 weeks to a month before I actually did as well. It was through the Smiths website. I did actually get a Twitter notification for this one, and it sent me to the Smiths website, and they had open pre-orders, and I quickly put all the details in, got it in my basket, unlike a lot of people. Some people didn't even get to that stage before it was out of stock to them. I got past that, and I was actually into the stage where you put your delivery details in, and I did that, and all I had left to do after that was click confirm purchase. but it bugged out, and yeah, it was out of stock. I must have been literally nanoseconds too late at that point. Oh my god, that was stressful. That was really stressful. I'd never felt as defeated as when that happened. And then when I finally managed to pick one up, it was February sometime, and it was on the game website. I had very briefly heard that 10 AM might be a stock time for game. I didn't get given a necessary date or anything, and I just thought, one morning, yeah, I'm just gonna wake up at 10 AM and just have a little check. And I did wake up at 9:59 AM because that was my alarm clock schedule. I thought ahead, you see, 1 minute before so I could check and tell you. Yeah, it was very clever. Yeah, and I actually saw one, and I remember being like, oh my god, okay. And you had to quickly enter your details and everything and get the checkout, put your postcode in, and get it sent out to game. And then, yeah, I actually got the confirmation email, and I went back to sleep. I was very exhausted, okay? I'd been up till like 6 AM and everything. It can't be good for your mental state. I feel bad for the people that still didn't have a hold of one after that, or still probably don't have one today. They're probably still stuck trying to check all these Twitter sites and everything. Oh yeah, and I never actually got notified by any Twitter account or the app that 10 AM on game was a thing. It wasn't until like 20 minutes later that everywhere was like, oh, by the way, game had stock, if you didn't know. And it's like, okay, but do they still have stock? I mean, it doesn't last that long. Yeah, and I went for the bundle that came with an additional DualSense because, of course, I have Kathleen, and she helped pay for the PlayStation, so, you know, it's nice to play some games together every now and then when they allow you to, because split screen's still a rarity, even though this is the next generation of gaming. Anyway, that's a rant in of itself. I was kind of debating over getting a bundle with a game included, but the only one I was really looking into was Spider-Man Miles Morales, and you can pick it up on eBay for way cheaper than you can get it brand new. So I just picked it up secondhand on eBay and got it for like £25, I believe, which was like half the price anywhere else. So that was a pretty good deal. Yeah, so that was the end of my waiting game. Well, actually, no, I had to actually wait for the console itself to turn up, which took a while. 2 weeks to be exact. You still had to pay like £10 extra for that as well. They didn't do free shipping, which is a bit of a weird thing if you ask me. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's the story of me getting a hold of a PS5. Yeah, I like it. You know, I came straight over from the PS4, which I had since 2015. We actually have had 2 in that time. And I loved the PS4. I loved all of the games on it. I actually didn't mind the fact that it wasn't that powerful. I never actually upgraded to the PS4 Pro, mainly because I was already thinking that there was going to be a PS5 at some point anyway. Fortunately, the PS5 does have a PS4 built in, and since we already have 2 PS4s, this technically means we now have 3? So it's basically got all the things I liked about the PS4 built into it, so it can only be better than that, surely, right? Yeah, I guess. I like that it's quiet. That's a thing I've really come to appreciate since coming over from the PS4. I mean, I wasn't even able to play games like Doom on my PS4 for the fear that it was literally going to explode. Yeah, I can maybe try out Doom now because of the PS5, and it's super quiet fun for the most part. It really is quiet. You probably wouldn't believe me if you were coming straight from the PS4. It's like a different thing entirely. I never quite understood why the PS4 was so loud. I understand that it's something to do with temperature and it not really having the fan built well enough or something. It doesn't have enough air cooling. I don't know, I'm not very technical when it comes to this sort of thing, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, the PS5's definitely an improvement on that. Probably because it's so big! It has the fans up there. Yes, I have dust on my PS5, okay? That I didn't clean up for the video because I'm not going to hide that from you. I'll clean it eventually. Although saying that, I'm not going to show you the other DualSense that we have because these get very dirty. Yeah, so it's nice to have a quieter system now. Seriously, it was really bad on the PS4. It was so bad that if I was trying to make a video with the PS4 in the same room, you would actually hear it in the video, no matter what I tried to do. I love the SSD in it that we all kind of got hyped up about before it came out. The fact that you can load up a game so quick is literally game changing. Literally. You probably don't even notice it half the time because it just feels natural to be able to go into a game when you've clicked to go into a game. And this SSD came in really handy for a game like Call of Duty Cold War. And the reason I mention that is because, like I said, me and Kathleen play together on some games, and one of those games is Call of Duty Cold War because it has split screen. But of course it couldn't be all, you know, great. No, there is a problem with their split screen. It's very buggy. You basically have to back out after every single match you have with a game in split screen because otherwise you can't see the enemy players, you can't see your team players, you other objects just won't load in. You can wall hack through a van. Oh god, we should probably leave because that looked like I was wall hacking. There's all sorts of weird visual bugs that come into play when you try to play a second match with a friend. So what you have to do is you have to back out of the game and then reload it. And that would be a pain on PS4. But with the PS5, you really don't notice it. I mean, me and Kathleen will be talking in between a game anyway, like while we're in the lobby. So we don't even really notice me clicking out, reloading the game and coming back in because it literally takes a few seconds. It's crazy. And then we're already back in the lobby. It's amazing. It is amazing. There's of course the 4K gaming, which I love. We do have a 4K TV downstairs and it looks really good on that TV. I haven't actually played much on it because I do play upstairs in my little games room a lot and I only have an HD TV up here, but it still looks really good on the HD 1080p TV. And of course it has a 4K Blu-ray player in it, which is that's great. It's also backwards compatible with all my PS4 games as well, which I do have quite a few physically and digitally. I have around 300 and something in total, I think. So that is really handy, not having to keep your other PlayStation plugged in at all times and everything, because as I'm going to get into it, we do play quite a lot of PS4 games still, and it's really handy just to have that little performance boost and just the quality of life that you can just switch between the PS5 game back to the PS4 game. You know, it's something that they should always do. I think it's just a nice thing, you know. It's a nice thing to have for your consumers, I think. And then there's the DualSense. The next step from the DualShock 4, it actually has quite a few nice little touches that I'm pretty sure you've heard of, you know, haptic feedback, all the little rumbles and everything. You know, you can really feel what's going on and everything. The trigger thing, I can't remember what it's called. The nice triggers, you know, is that adaptive feedback? Which one's the adaptive feedback? Haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, I think. I should really have looked this up before. Yeah, they're really good. Although I have actually been a bit too scared to use them, so I often disable them in games like Call of Duty, just because I've heard that they can snap. Like the inside bit that actually triggers that little adaptive part, that can snap. That's terrible. So I've actually had them turned off for the most part. So it's more like a DualShock in that sense for me, so I can't really comment on that. Yeah, great controller. But the best part of this for me is the fact that it has a built-in microphone. This is so handy for me because I've recently got back into playing games online with a friend. I haven't played online with anyone in like probably 10 years at this point, but because I don't live with my brother anymore, I thought this would be a nice way to play with him since he already had his PS5, because of course he managed to get a hold of one before I did. We just play some Call of Duty together, and it's handy that we have a microphone built in because we don't have to bother with headsets and all this other stuff that I'm not really a fan of personally, and I can still use the audio on the TV and everything. It's really nice, and it's actually pretty good quality in my opinion.
Oh, actually hold still. Oh. Want to get him. Got him, he's down. Wait, hold. Downed him. Yeah, team wipe! We can take the building.
It's better than a lot of the microphones I remember using 10 years ago on Xbox Live, that's for sure. But yeah, I do keep it muted for the most part. It's set to mute by default on my profile, which a lot of people probably don't know you can do. But you can set it to mute by default, because that is really handy when you're going in a game by yourself. I know that it caught me off guard a couple times early on. I'd be playing an online game, just kind of being like, and then I'd be like, oh my god, that's embarrassing. and have to mute it. If you can't tell, I really struggle with socializing, okay? I actually really like the UI in it as well. I know it's very similar to the PS4, and I was hoping for something of a bit of a difference from the PS4. I mean, it is a bit visually different, but it works. Well, actually, I don't know why this is the case, but they've added so many additional steps to doing simple tasks in the UI, like wanting to load up your trophy list. I swear there's like an extra 1 or 2 steps to doing that. Stuff like that just makes no sense in my opinion. I don't get why it's been so not streamlined. As for the bad things, the fact that it's not PSVR compatible by nature is a bit of an issue for me. You actually have to submit your details to get this additional PSVR dongle thing to plug in that will adapt the cable to be able to fit with your PS5. It's a bit silly to be able to use a peripheral thing that actually didn't come out that long ago on the PS4. But yeah, you can still use them if you do that. It's a bit of a hassle to do it because you have to wait for this thing to be delivered to you before you can actually play your games, but anyway, it is what it is. And this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm not sure if I do prefer the DualSense over the DualShock 4, unlike everyone else. It feels more like an Xbox controller, and I like that, because the Xbox 360 in particular, that had the controller that is my personal favourite. It's a lot beefier, I guess. It's chunkier than the other one, and it does fit nice and tug in your hand. But I found that when I'm actually playing first-person shooters in particular, my thumb has to, I don't know what it is, I think my thumb has to travel a bit further from its resting point to here, to the analog stick. I don't know if it's just a problem with my thumb, but on the PS4, I think it's because the whole design's just a bit smaller. There's less travel for my thumb to do to get to to do this. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. It's a thing I've noticed, and it actually does hurt my thumb a bit sometimes. Not so much now, I've gotten a bit more used to it, but I actually think the DualShock 4 is a bit more comfortable for me. I do like it though. Probably give it an 8 out of 10. For the controller. Probably actually an 8.5 just because of the built-in mic feature. That's actually a really good feature for me. As for the build quality of the PS5, like I keep pointing out and I don't even mean to, it's very heavy. It really is very heavy. It's funny to me because I remember specifically when the Wii came out and we managed to get a hold of the Nintendo Wii. I remember my mom pointing out that that was a heavy console. The Nintendo Wii. I remember her specifically saying that it was heavier than the PlayStation 2 was, and I was very defensive about that. I was like, no, it's not, it can't be. But yeah, I think it might have been, actually. At least similar weight. But yeah, I couldn't fathom the idea that a newer console, quite a few years ahead in terms of technological advancement, could be heavier than one that came out like a decade before it. I couldn't fathom that. That made no sense to me. I do remember going along with the idea that, yeah, as newer consoles come out, they'll get smaller and more lightweight. But then the PS5 comes out and just, my god, you know, my god. I also get really scared to pick it up. I usually leave it in the same spot, but sometimes I have to pick it up and move it every now and then, like for example for this video. And I get too scared because of these panels. I don't know if they're fragile or whatever. I just get the idea that they're very fragile. So there's only very specific spots that I dare pick it up from. I think this is usually the way I pick it up, by the bottom, and this bit. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but yeah, it's just a thing I've noticed, that I get very scared to handle this console. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're going to be getting one and are very fearful, I guess. And you're probably wondering what games I've bought for the system since I got it. Well, I actually didn't have to buy any games ahead of time because I was already subscribed to PS Plus. I was granted access to a couple PS5 games here and there. Oh, and Bug Snacks. I didn't expect to actually get Bug Snacks, but yeah, I have Bug Snacks. Hey, I've actually heard it's pretty good, you know, so why not? As for physical games, because I'm into physical media if you couldn't tell, I have picked up a couple games here and there. Of course, I already mentioned this, but I did buy Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS5 and Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops. You know, I like the Call of Duty games, okay? And I just knew that out of all the new games that were coming out for the PS5, this one out of all of them would be worth the money for me because I play these way too much. I always get my money's worth out of them. And like I said, it was the game that I was able to play with my brother so that we could keep in touch. In fact, we're still playing together in Cold War on the PS5. And they're the only two I own physically at the moment. I did actually buy Hitman 3 for the PS5 as well. But again, I thought I'd go the second-hand route just to get it that bit cheaper. And it was all okay, you know, it came in time and everything. But, of course, there was a catch. If that wasn't obvious by the fact that I don't have it with me anymore. I actually decided to pick up Hitman 3 for the PS5 because it has a VR mode, and I'm a big advocate for VR games, so this felt like a great opportunity to be getting some new quality VR games for a change, because we actually haven't had many of them recently. And so yeah, I obviously bought that with VR in mind. In fact, it was the main way I was going to be playing the game. But to be able to play it on the PS5, you actually have to have a code which is included in the PS5 copy that grants you access to the VR portion of the game. It's a bit ridiculous, but that's how it goes. And of course, my copy didn't include any such VR code. This is something that the seller failed to mention to me before I bought it, so I was just under the impression that it was included because they did list it as like new, which implies that it's just as if it came off the shelf brand new, you know, but just happens to be secondhand. Anyway, I was able to resolve that with eBay and I got my money back and sent it back off, so yeah. But I don't have Hitman 3, so I can't really comment on that, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Yeah, oh, there was Astro's Playroom. That was a beautiful game. I loved that game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you're probably wondering, wow, was that it? 3 months with a PS5 and you've just played games that are on the PS4 as well anyway? Yeah, I guess so. Well, no, actually, I have been playing PS4 games themselves on the PS5, so yeah. I've been playing Warzone. Oh, I should say a lot of Warzone. Resident Evil 7. I actually went back to it to play it all in VR again. In time before Village comes out, that is. And The Forest, which is actually a brand new experience for me. That was actually really fun. It was something that me and my brother decided to buy together because we wanted to play together in something that wasn't just Cold War.
What you're cooking? Oh my god! Oh my god, Jack, help! Help! What was that?
So we've been playing that a lot. I've accidentally put about 40 hours into the game, but that's besides the point. Yeah, if nothing else, the PS5 has allowed me to connect with my brother a lot more than I have been able to since moving away from him and everything. So yes, that is me and my PS5. Ah, what a great story, am I right? But as for rating the console itself, I don't know, I can't do it. I can't give it a number out of 10 because I haven't really experienced enough of just the PS5 stuff to be able to tell. I'd probably give the PS4 like an 8 out of 10, and so probably by default this is an 8 out of 10 at least. Probably a bit higher because it does play newer games at higher frame rate, higher graphical fidelity, and plays PS4 games without that annoying fan. Probably an 8.4. 8.5. Let's just give it an 8.5. 8.5 out of 10 for the PS5. So yeah, there we have it. That is Meerkat Chris's experience with a PS5. The question you're probably all asking is, Chris, did you really need a PS5 this early on? Well, no. No, I did not, everybody. I really didn't. I mean, you wouldn't be wrong in saying that I'd spent £450 for a microphone so that I can play with my brother on PS4 games. Ah, aren't you all so jealous? Seriously, if you don't really think you're going to be playing that many of the new PS5 games this early on, you're probably just better waiting for the PS5 to be a bit more easier to get a hold of. And I know that's easy for me to say from my seat with a PS5, but it probably is just easier for your mental state not to worry about getting hold of one. Because really, I haven't played anything that was exclusive for the PS5. Well, actually, Astro's Playroom. Okay, maybe you could get a PS5 for Astro's Playroom. That was beautiful. Like I said, I basically paid $450 for a microphone. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I want things when I hear about them. Anyway, that's all I've got to say, for now at least. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend anyone in, you know, basically sounding like I shouldn't have a PS5, but I do. I don't want to sound arrogant about it either. I hope that isn't coming across as arrogant. I don't mean to. What are your guys' thoughts on the PS5? I know a lot of you probably don't care about actually getting one because there's not really much appeal to getting one at the moment, but you know, it's just, I'm gonna have one anyway at some point, you know, I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know why I'm pointing up here, but see you guys later. Yes. Bye.